Hello, can anyone hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you now.
Yes, sir. Okay, without much further ado, please make welcome our facilitator for tonight's session, Jisam Balkis. Are you there, man? Jisam Balkis, are you with us?
Yes. Yeah. Can you all hear me?
Right. Thank you. You have the
Hello.
floor, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm still awaiting for the slide to be put up. Though I will be using this moment to welcome Silent Steward, our environmental stewards. How have you all been? Just reply me in the comment section. How have you all been? I know we have participants from 3 major countries.
Yeah, we can hear
Nigeria.
you. Yeah, okay.
Just send the comment box. Nigeria, Liberia. After the first eviction, I hope we still have our Uganda participants intact.
I need a bowl, yeah.
Other participants, see you commenting in the comment section in the chat box. Are we still here? Are you still with us?
We can hear you. Yeah.
No. I am asking our Uganda participants, are they still with us? So we don't have Uganda participants with us anymore.
Uganda.
Any Liberia in the house? Wow, so they've all gone. Liberia and Uganda participants have gone with the eviction wind. No problem. We will make do with our Nigerian participants. And hopefully, next time they will be able to be with us to the end. Without me wasting so much more time, I welcome us all to this gathering as we dissect solid waste management through the lens of the silent stewards. Today, we aren't just talking about trash or logistics, we are talking about survival. Our world often celebrate the loud, the visible, and the high profile. But a forest, as we all know, doesn't breathe because of the canopy alone. not because of the leaves that we see that are very obvious. The forest breathes because of the hidden fungal network and soil architects below. We are here to recognize the human mycelium holding our environmental fabric together, while the rest of the world look elsewhere. Moving on, what are solid waste? Solid waste refers to anything at all, be it metal, plastic, clothes, and that's textile, that after usage turns into garbage, trash, refuse, or anything material we feel we have no use of again. And it is usually majorly categorized into three based on how they are generated. That is the municipal solid waste. These are food waste, plastics, paper, and metal waste. And these are usually generated from our offices, our homes, shops, and everything. Healthcare and other hazardous waste. These are gotten from hospitals, the dangerous chemicals, the safety wares they make use of in the hospitals. Healthcare waste also involved the most delicate handling, as any slight mistake mistake can degenerate quickly, as it involves direct human impact and mostly communicable effects. That any mistake at all can return to the spread of communicable disease, just like Lassa fever spread so fast, all because most of the time because of rats. E-waste, electronic waste, from laptops, from our laptops to our TVs, electronic gadgets, and every other thing. Then what is solid waste management? It's a coordinated, emphasis on coordinated, logistical cycle involving generation. That's how much waste we are creating every day. Source separation, that's the aspect where we know whether we are separating the waste to metal, to plastics, to clothing waste, food waste, or we just model everything up to dispose. Collection and transport, that's when waste workers come to our house to pick them up, or we dispose them ourselves, down to the processing and disposal. When they take it up from your hand, they go ahead to go through further processing. Sometimes they sort, and sometimes in the informal sector it ends up in the landfill, which is the most common one around here. But do we know that over 2 billion tons of municipal waste are produced annually? 2 billion annually. That is 1 million tons times 2,000 places. Can you imagine 1 million tons in 2,000 places? We all know how much a ton can be. That's 1,000 kg. A ton is 1,000 kg. Now imagine 1 million times of that times 2,000. You see, we are in trouble. Then about 54 million of e-waste was created as at 2019, with a gradual increase to 75 million tons by 2030. But I'm not sure we have not exceeded that number, because as at this moment, solar panels and inverters have joined the league. It has left just TVs and laptops and other gadgets because of the shift to renewable energy. and the lifespan of solar panels and inverters are usually variable. And by 2030, hopefully, but not so hopeful, they won't have increased the number of e-waste that we have. Now, moving on to the waste hierarchy. This is how waste is being generated down to heat disposal. That's from prevention. That is from our individual houses as consumers, where you decide whether where you decide the amount of waste you want to generate. This is where you decide that do I need to buy this thing? Can I do without this or not? Or this is a will I call it necessary necessity? That's where the aspect of prevention comes in. Can you do without waste? Can we do? How much can I do without creating this level of waste? Then going down to reduction, yes, we have to cook. The waste have been generated, but while trying to cook, I try as much as possible to reduce the number of waste I'm generating. Or you are the type that you just use you use it as it comes. You don't mind how much waste you are generating. But going down to the aspect of reuse, yes, the waste have been generated. You now check whether this particular thing can go through a second life. Can you use it? Do you just want to use it one time and dispose? Or you can use it another time? This thing can be used for something else. That's the aspect of using this. Examples of this is probably when you make use of rags at home. You know, after making use of it, normally is to wash and reuse again. Or you are decided that after using your rag once, you throw it out. Going down to recycling. Recycling is giving it a second life. Yes, waste have been generated. You've tried using it to a certain extent, but you feel that you are tired of it. It's either you take for cloth waste, you take it to you donate it to charity for others to make use of it, or probably plastic waste, you take it to recycling plants where it's being given a second life. The next is, if it can't go through recycling, can it generate energy for us? This is where the aspect of incineration to generate heat for electricity, or making use of food waste as biogas or biofertilizers. If if the waste being generated can't go through all this process, at the end it ends up in the landfills. When it gets to the landfill, this is where it becomes very nice, because most of the time our landfills are usually not regulated. Although if they were regulated, all this waste would have been properly sorted, and what's left to get to the landfill won't be as much. That's where the aspect of controlled disposal comes in, and uncontrolled disposal. We know that when it is controlled, the spread of communicable disease to the environment will be limited. But when it's uncontrolled, it's usually the open air landfill, whereby biodegradation process occur, and a lot of catastrophe occur after. Then guide to proper waste to proper solid waste management. This concerns both the government, individuals, and our industries. I'll be taking it in no particular order, but I will be stating which aspects the government have to take part in, the aspects that involves the industries, and the ones that involves us as the individual consumers. When we talk about policies and action, for the government, there is the need for them to create policies and prioritize waste prevention, and subsequently provide steps to reduce, to reuse, to recycle, recover, and implement controlled waste disposal. I take it or leave it. The governments have to be the one to champion this cause. Industries can only help there, but they will be the one to mandate them on what and what not to do. Develop and update policies across relevant sectors that reduce the harmful exposure of all waste workers to all waste types. And this can be done by compulsory provision of working safety gadgets for waste workers. Their lives also matters. Eradicate child labor within all facets of waste management. Government needs to mandate this on the people for the individual consumers and industries to adhere. Not what we have at the moment in Nigeria. We have a lot of children on the streets picking up scraps. Hopefully, that will be looked into. Introduce policies that help to stimulate the diversion of waste from landfill. As much as possible, they should take in the recyclables away before it gets to the landfills. Promote screening for and monitoring of harmful waste exposures. When harmful chemicals mix with normal waste, that's a lot of catastrophe. Yes, we know the government can't do it alone. That's where the aspect of capacity building and awareness comes in. Those that have the technical know-how can help in this respect. But this has to be done along with the government. Then number one of that is train healthcare workers about the health hazards related to e-waste exposure and the symptoms of possible exposure, and to recognize informal recycling context. Do you get that? Train healthcare workers, not just any person, about the health hazards related to e-waste exposure. Day in, day out, we are being exposed to this unknowingly, and the symptoms of possible exposure, and to recognize informal recycling context. Number two, raise awareness among the general population on and about the importance of reducing waste and properly segregating waste. Waste segregation is very, very important. And about the adverse effects, health impact of exposure to harmful waste. Increase awareness of the polluter pays principle, including the need for polluters to contribute to the full cost of waste management, from collection to disposal, as well as of environmental externalities and the associated costs. Launch behavioral change campaigns using online media and posters to educate and shift the waste generation and management mindset of political leaders. It's not a job for just the environmentalists and the professors alone. We need to educate our political leaders because they are closer to the people, no matter how we say it. Communities and businesses, we all can't do this alone. We all need to do it together. On the aspect of financial aspect, plan for sufficient financial resources to sustain waste management system and services, from waste prevention to segregation, collection and transportation, and to recovery and disposal. This is mostly the work of the government and industries. Ensure revenues from waste-related charges are earmarked for waste prevention and management, not to divert the funds gotten from there into other things. We all know how they embezzle all these things in Nigeria. Implement systems for separate waste collection at source. It pays when you are able to separate the waste from point of collection than when it gets to the landfill. It's usually much more cleaner there than when it gets to the landfills. Implement extended producer responsibility. This is much more those in our industries. For packaged goods placed on the market, introduce deposit refund system. More or less like when after making use of their products, if you can return the maybe after drinking water from the water bottle, you return it back to the company, you get something in return for it. And other readily returnable products, phase out unnecessary single-use plastics. Definitely we can do without we can do without them. Promote durable and reusable goods that can be locally reused or recycled. This the major works of government and industry. A reuse, recover, recycle approach should be adopted, shifting away from disposal, maximizing a product's lifetime, and return of secondarily recovered materials into the economy. This way, we limit the use of virgin products when they are when we allow our products to go through secondary life and they are being introduced by us to the economy. Ensuring generation of income for the economy. Then moving on, that's landfill waste diversion through waste segregation and recycling. Divert as much waste from landfills as possible. Bring in organic waste management system to recover and return nutrients to the environment. That's where the biogas plants works to get biofertilizer or biodigesters. Consider waste incineration that can return to energy recovery. A waste incineration to generate it to produce electricity. That's waste to energy for solid waste. Another waste that might not be recyclable. Introduction of biogas and biodigesters to manufacture cooking gas from waste and other organic manure for soil enrichment. Providing regular and reliable collection services and incentivizing site managers. Proper monitoring of waste collectors. The phase out to a large extent the use of toxic chemicals in electronics and electrical equipment, and clearly mark products and packaging to identify any hazardous chemicals still present. This is major work of the government to mandate the industries that make these electronics or those that are at the ports on whatever they bring into the country. Ensure sufficient health sector capacity to respond to harmful waste exposure. We can't say hazards won't happen, although we try as much as possible to prevent them. But when it happens, there should be sufficient healthcare workers on ground to help curb them. Moving on, let's see solid waste management through our silent stewards. Next slide. Our silent stewards, the waste workers, the ones that I talked about less, those that are involved in the day-to-day running of our environments. In every area of ecosystems, our survival depends on a silent, circulating workforce. For example, let's take a city like Lagos. The informal waste pickers, the one we call shagodo shago, and scavengers, whether we like it or not. They are our front line defense against toxicity. They are the waste scavengers, our plugin stewards of the human world. Their labor is often mistaken for the waste they manage. We see them as the trash they pick, and their dignity is overlooked. It's literally not their fault. Most of the time, it's because they also want to make ends meet. Ends meet. They are just trying to survive. On our part, we might as well recalibrate our perspective by us changing the usual tag names we are used to. For me, I know them as Akole. Sometimes we call them cleaners, we call them Shagulo. Sometimes you say PSP workers. Tell me a local name you call them in your area. I want to see that in the chat box. Kole Kodoti, Mebola. What else? I need to hear more. Meshara, okay. Shagol, okay. My fellow brethren, Shagul brethren. Wole, okay. Shale, wow. So many acronyms for them alone. Instead of all these acronyms, we can delve into a more dignified titles like our habitat guardians. Or are they not? Do you know why? Because they do the dirty jobs to keep our environment with lesser fields lying around. Are they not the indefatigable warriors of the environment? Are they or are they not the indefatigable warriors of our environment? Since we all agree, now let's imagine together and reflect. Let's reflect just for a minute. What happens if they stop working? If they cease their role for just a month in a typical Lagos that me and you, I and you, that no. If those PSP workers stop working today, what will happen? What will happen if they stop working today? It's to be serious trouble. Get choked on our waist. Wow. The consequence won't be for this world. That's where you see the advent of communicable disease flying around. You see different names to different communicable disease. This way soccer is just like the earthworm. As tiny as they are, their works in the soil can't be quantified. If there are no earthworms in the soil chokes. Without these, our human stewards, our social biome would be hit by a widespread catastrophe of toxins and disease. The CEOs of our society, our shiny infrastructures, and our high-profile leaders would perish that if they did not run abroad. because the fundamental rhythm of Earth has been severed. We will then realize too late that the loudest voices were never the most vital. First thing, we must weave their narrative into our culture. You need to respect them. We need to get that their contribution is well understood as a foundational process for healthy living. Without them, I got kicked out for a minute. Without them, sadly, we can't survive. We need to understand that. Secondly, we must build, next slide, please. Secondly, we must build tangible structures, fair compensations. They are only trying to survive. They are only trying to survive. Yet, most governments do not pay them fairly. I've known of one that the sweepers of the state were not paid for 6 months, and yet they were expected to show up every day. Fair compensation and career pathways. I hope we can do better. That treats these as an indispensable human infrastructure. We need to understand that. Then finally, we must create circular networks, much like where and when resource flow from waste back into production. Do you understand? This is where the circular economy talks come in. Through the hands of these stewards, by honoring the silence, we ensure the resilience of the whole. I hope you get that point. We must create circular networks where resource flow from waste back into production through the hands of these stewards, not the CEOs now. Through these silent workers, by honoring the silence, we ensure the resilience of the whole. Next slide. How can you make this happen from your home? First thing first, if you don't need it, don't buy it. That's where the aspect of prevention comes in. If you feel that you just want to get something because others are getting it, try negate that feeling and don't buy it. If it's not necessary, there is need, there is want. If it's not necessary, don't buy it. Use environmental friendly products. That's where the aspect of making use of reusable bottles, taking your flags to go and buy foods, not all the time take away. Separate organic and inorganic waste. Let your food waste be disposed separately from your plastic waste. If you have pets at home that ingest this thing, give them the food waste, let them eat. You are saving the environment, yet you are feeding your pets. Treat waste workers nicely. it is very important. The way most of us treat them are nothing to write home about. Then dispose properly. Next slide. This is to tell all of us, let's keep the environment clean to stay healthy. Everyone have something to do to ensure this is possible. It's a joint effort. It's not just a one person responsibility. Next slide. This my humble self. Next slide. A wake-up call for all. A summary of what all we have been discussing since. Then a video will be sent to us all on our WhatsApp group for us to reminisce further. This year we are focusing on food waste. The world is focusing on food waste, and I will need us to think further, to think beyond ordinary, and reminisce whether you've been doing the right thing all along or not. Thank you all for listening. If you have any question, feedback, you can go ahead before you locomote back to your WhatsApp group to meet the host for today.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much. I would just want to fill in for the questions section before we all go back to the WhatsApp group for the open debate section. So perhaps, do you have anybody with any question for our tutor tonight? Any question from anybody? Any questions so far? Okay, I want to believe we all understand everything and we do not have any questions. So, this is not the end. So please, everybody find your way to the WhatsApp group for the last phase of tonight's section. Thank you very much. We can all leave the Zoom platform now to the WhatsApp platform. Thank you.